Getting started?
You need help.
No, I don't.
Apparently you need help, but it sounds like your group's pretty good.
This game need help.
We're about to go over it.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so for the most part, we were pretty darn good on number 3. And that's kind of the trend I've seen today. And I mostly want to focus on number 4, but before we get to number 4, I want to talk about one really important thing. 1, your variables and your negatives matter. Make sure you keep them in there. Otherwise, you're going to completely mess things up. Because if I wrote this, as I use my distributive property, do I have a rate of change now?
Yes.
Where?
Divided by 80.
Mm.
No.
Remember, the rate of change is either repeated addition or repeated. Repeated subtraction can be repeated addition. Subtracting 5 is the same thing as adding a negative 5. You can have repeated addition or repeated multiplication, right? That's that linear versus exponential, right? Do I have repeated addition or repeated multiplication right now?
No.
So if you don't have that variable, do you have the function you want? You need that variable in there. Y equals mx plus b. And it was there, you just ignored it for some reason. Quit doing that. And then we simplify it to get negative 2/5 x plus 16. Is that what Carlos ended up with? Yes. But I wanted you to make this note to yourself on number 3 if you did not realize this already, which means most of us should write this down. And what is this process called when we go from standard form to isolating a single variable so we know exactly what y is equal to?
Solving?
Say again?
Solving.
Solving. Please make this note to yourself that all we're doing right here is solving. Right? All we are doing is solving for what? Y. And we know it's solving for y because the equation, the slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, right? I need y on its own. I'm solving for y. Alright? Now, I actually want to contrast a little bit the difference between what the two groups did here. Shelby, what did you do first to this equation that Carlos had in number 4?
Multiply by 80.
Multiplied both sides of the equation by 80. Hey, and I don't believe that's what y'all did first, was it? I don't believe y'all multiplied by 80 first, did you?
No, I don't think we did.
Okay, we're going to pick up with what y'all did in a second, but does anyone in group 4, can you give me a reason why multiplying by 80 might make sense? Yeah, that's y'all 3. You're group 2.
Because it's...
I mean, you're going to end up doing it anyways.
So 1, why do you know that you're going to end up multiplying by 80?
Well, because we want to know what y is, that's attached to y, you're going to have to do it.
Well, no. So we already had what y is. Remember, we had Carlos, the slope-intercept. We're trying to get back to standard now. So what would tell us to multiply by 80?
Because we divide by 80 at the start, so you're going to...
Well, over here, the last thing we did was
multiply by 80.
divide by 80.
So now you're going to multiply because it's the inverse.
So multiply by 80 would make sense. However, if you did not have this work here, would you have known to multiply by 80? No. So let's talk about what we could have known no matter what. Desiree, you had a great strategy. What was the thing you decided to do here? You did. Come on, what did you say to do? Look at your paper. You should have it written down.
How did I write that down?
I wrote it down. What was the first step we took over there? I believe you told us to add something, didn't you?
Oh yeah, you had to add 2/5.
Add what?
2/5 x.
2/5 x. Notice what is negative 2/5 x plus 2/5 x? That's that 0, right? And look at what we're trying to work towards to see why this makes sense. Do we have a variable on the right side of the equation here? Over here?
Oh no.
No, we don't.
No.
Which is why I feel like Desiree made a great call to say, hey, I'm going to add 2/5 x to make this a 0. Because what is 0 plus 16? 16? Are you 2 years old or are you like 16 or somewhere in that
I am
ballpark?
16,
Oh yeah?
I'm saying,
So you're 16 and not 2? So talk like it.
yeah.
But we got 0 plus 16 is 16. We all comfortable with that idea?
Mhm.
Okay. Notice also that, first off, should I put my x or my y first?
X
X, right? It's ax plus by equals c. So I'm going to put that 2/5 x
plus
plus y.
y.
Notice how Desiree's option got us really close to that standard form.
Really close.
Really close, right? That's really useful.
But
But what's the one issue that is plaguing us so that we don't actually have standard form right now?
you missing y.
That's okay. Actually, I'm not missing y, I have y. Do you mean we don't have a number in front of the y?
Yes, that's why.
So that's the coefficient of y.
Yes, you know what the coefficient is?
Actually, I do.
Everybody knows what it is.
It's 1.
Mhm.
So that's not a problem. That's actually okay for standard. That 1, that b value is not the problem. What is the problem?
There's a fraction, I hate fractions.
1, yeah, there's fraction, I hate fractions, but more importantly, a, b, and c all have to be what kind of numbers?
Oh, interesting.
Integers. So can we have a fraction right there?
No.
No, that's an actual issue.
So,
And Peyton, you actually had a good idea here. You said we could do what since we were dividing by 5?
Multiply.
Notice, and I want to point this out, if I multiply both sides of the equation by 5, no, it does not give me the Clarita's equation, but I get 80 here. What is 5 times y?
9.
And then I do 5 times 2 divided by 5. Those 5's cancel and I'm left with 2x. Is that in standard form?
Yes.
yes.
Is that the standard form that Clarita had?
No.
No.
No. But if you didn't know what the equation was supposed to be, you could totally stop right here. Now, because we want Clarita's equation, what do I need to do to the 2x, to the 5y, and to the 80 to get it up to the numbers it's supposed to be?
Times 7.
Well, what could you multiply by 2 to get 32?
You said
16.
16.
Yeah, 16, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyone want to guess what 5 times 16 is?
80.
And what 80 times 16 is?
1, 2, and then 8.
Yeah.
Like the math knows.
So notice, all I would have to do is figure out what constant to multiply by, because remember, each of these equations is equivalent. This is an acceptable standard form, but to get to Clarita's equation, what the original problem was, that's all we would have to do.
Wow.
Okay.
Still 2 years old.
P.S. Did y'all take notes on this as we went over it?
Yes.
I'll group sure did. Not.
Yeah, I know you didn't.
I did.
I'm gonna
I
leave
took notes.
as I was going over it.
No, not that stuff.
So hold on. So I'll leave it up here so you can take notes in a second during enrichment. But again, these are the things, like we can't just look at it, because if you just look at it, you might have it for a little bit, but you might forget it later.
Don't we basically have that work on paper?
Huh?
Don't we basically have that work already?
Yes, but you might have wanted to take some notes about maybe the way Desiree did it, because Desiree did it different than y'all. But her strategy will always work. Knowing to multiply by 80 only works if you already have this work here. And you're usually not going to.
Right.
Okay? But I mean, notice, you still know what you're working towards, ax plus by equals c.
Yes.
So create a 0 where that x is on the right-hand side, and boom, there's the x on the left-hand side as well. And then I get rid of the fraction, so I have an integer. All right, number 5, just a heads up, that's one of your homework problems.
Number 5.
Number 5, Carlos' strategy. You should be able to explain how to do this.
Last one.
Not right now, it's homework. You can do it during enrichment if you want and then ask me.
I already did number 5.
But let's talk, oh yeah, did you already do numbers 5 and 6? Perfect. Number 6, Clarita's strategy. How might Clarita use her standard form 6x plus 24y equals 360? So notice this is back to the space. So how could she use this equation to get 2 points on the graph? Did y'all get to number 6? What'd y'all say for this?
Use your 6.
Huh?
Use 6.
What about the 6?
That's the x-intercept.
Okay, so that, but why are you ignoring the y?
I'm about to say, I ain't done it yet, Mr. Kenny.
Well, for the x-intercept, you should ignore the y. Do you know why?
No.
So if I'm looking at an x-intercept on the x-axis,
It say 5.
what is my y value?
0.
Ah,
It say that? What's that?
Maybe it's chicanery.
Sir,
Could you add 24y and 6? No.
no, they're different variables.
Yeah, you're right.
For the x-intercept though, we want to recognize and hold on to the fact that y is always going to equal what?
0.
So if I'm looking for the x-intercept, 6 times x plus 24 times
0.
is equal to,
360.
can you solve that equation for what x is equal to now?
Yeah.
So figure out what that is, okay? And then for the y-intercept,
You want to write it down?
no, I'm just writing on the board for my own help.
Nobody write it down, guys.
So for the y-intercept, what do we know?
That your y-intercept is going to be on 6.
If you're on, looking for a y-intercept, no matter what or what function you're looking at, what is 0?
X.
That's what we want to recognize, is that if we're looking for the y-intercept, x is always equal to 0. That's a fundamental note that you need to make for yourself. So then it would be 6 times,
24. I mean, X. 24.
0.
for the y-intercept, x equals,
Oh, 0.
so 6 times
I said that. I totally said that.
plus 24 times,
0. 24. 360. 1,280. Oh, wow. I said that too. I totally said that.
you never said that.
That's the first thing I said.
No. Notice the x is 0, do we know what the y is?
No.
No, but we know that this whole thing is equal to 360. Can I now solve for y?
Yes.
So for a y-intercept, it's 0 comma something. Find out what your y-intercept is. For the x-intercept, it's something, comma, 0.
So you're supposed to find out what your y-intercept is for that one. And the other
Well,
one,
notice you need 2 points, right? So you find the x-intercept and you find the y-intercept.
So 6 times 0 is 0.
Plus 24y, so 24y is equal to 360.
Gotcha.
And then you solve for y, right? That's the beauty of these two equations. So 5 and 6, finish those for homework. And then this 5 and 6, try these for homework. We'll talk about them tomorrow.
So since you read all down the board, I can just write 0, comma, dot, dash. And
Well, you kind of need to figure out what that value is. That's why I put a dash so you figure it out.
That's what it is.
Okay, then put it down. Okay, so I am slightly modifying this homework.
I don't erase that stuff you just wrote.
No, I'm going to erase all of it.
They don't beat you up.
That's adorable that you think you can do that.
No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm a lightweight, a heavyweight.
Ouch. That's tough.
Now you're trying to call me fat?
No!
Man,
I ain't say all that numbers.
Corell's just really trying to affect his grade in my class right now.
I mean,
Oh. Would you really?
No!
this can't be good.
Alright, there's your homework. Please do note that we have an understanding check on Thursday for 5.1 to 5.4, which means we will have a self-assessment. I did not get a chance to make the 9 weeks exam study pack yet, but I will have that to you